cURL is a command line tool that lets you fetch data from a URL, and it's really straightforward and easy. It's actually already installed on your computer. That's right, every computer basically already has the cURL command installed. And we take a quick look here, we see it's really simple to use cURL, and then you type in the API call, and that's it, and then you can fetch the data. Really super straightforward and simple. Also, didn't realize this, but you might think that cURL is an acronym for something. It kind of is. It's kind of an acronym, client-side URL transfers, and you can use libcurl to import into your C programs and other programs. A lot of code for fetching URLs that's baked into software actually comes from libcurl. The cURL command is really powerful. It lets you fetch data from a URL really easily using your terminal window, and all you have to do is type the word cURL, curl, and then the endpoint that you're looking to target, and you just press enter, boom, you've got it downloaded on your system. You can also use a -o flag and then save this to data.json, for example, and it will save it to a JSON file that you can open up and see the outcome result. You can also curl any web page endpoint. So for example, we've got the Reddit website. We could say curl reddit.com, and then we say reddit.html, and then we just open that up, Reddit. Now we have our HTML file here. Notice that they do a lot of compression. They remove a lot of the empty space for, so they can provide a really fast user experience. So you're going to get a nice compressed page here, including all the CSS and HTML. You can mask your user agent using the curl command in a simple user agent parameter. This might be necessary. Some web servers will actually check the user agent to see if there's any curl or bot like scanning activity that's occurring and block access, but you can overcome this easily just by passing in the user agent string here. It's really straightforward, and then you can make it look exactly like a web browser. So you sort of essentially mask the client that's fetching the API call. So we can try it here really quick. We'll run it. You see that we've loaded all of our data. Simple, pretty straightforward. So normally the URL would look like this, curl and then -l to follow any 302 redirects, and then the URL that you are looking to fetch. And then you just add on here user agent, and then within quote marks, you will pass in any sort of user agent that you might see any normal browser send across. And this is what one of the modern browsers uses to send as a user agent. cURL is one of the easiest command line tools that we can use in our terminal window. It's actually really straightforward because it's cURL and then the URL that we are looking for. And here's a quick cheat sheet that we're going to look over really quick. It's just cURL, cURL, and then the URL you're interested in. These are also extra parameters that you might want to leverage. For example, download a file with the -o, -l to follow redirects. And you might want to post data using the -d and this key value or JSON, right? So you can post JSON data. You might also need to specify a header for application content type. And then if you want to post a file, you just use the file equals @path to file, which this little @ symbol, which is really confusing. Like, oh, the @ symbol. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And there's another example here. If you want to completely break the HTTP spec, you can pass in the -g flag, the get flag, with the d flag to send data with your get request, which is totally against the rules, but you can totally do it. There's nothing stopping you. If you want to do it, you can do it. Here's an interesting tip with cURL. You can actually rate limit the speed at which data is downloaded from this cURL when you're fetching data like a large file. You might want to make it a little bit slower so it doesn't consume all the bandwidth on your network. It's really straightforward. You just press -- rate limit, and then you specify the rate, right? So 1 M will be 1 megabyte, and then you specify the file output path. That's actually really straightforward, and so this will rate limit the download at 1 megabyte per second. And if you're slowing it down, then probably you might want to resume a broken download, which that is actually quite impressive that you can do this with cURL. You just specify -c and then another dash here, and then you point to the file path. I'm not sure how that works, but you got to add this extra little magic dash mark here, and then a -o, capital O, to download the file to resume the broken download. When you're using cURL to test data on a test server or staging environment that may not have a root CA, it's very possible that you'll hit a security error which says cURL says, sorry, I'm not going to cURL this because there's no way for me to validate the cert. The certificate is self-signed, so it won't validate. One thing you can do is just really simple, use the -k parameter to skip SSL verification. Now this is really useful when you're developing, because often you'll just have self-signed certs and curl will always try to validate the cert chain. You can skip that process altogether by using the -k flag. If you're having trouble with the command line tool curl, then you might want to use the verbose flag -v. This flag will show you all of the communication transfers, including the TLS handshake, which can be quite verbose. However, it will give you all the data that you need. Let's check out a quick example. I will give this a shot here. Let's see if we can. All right, what we'll do here is run the -v, and we're going to see a large amount of printout on the screen. All right, here we go. We see there is the TLS handshake here at the top, which is going to be mostly probably not going to be your issue that you need to worry about. What's going to be more interesting is near here at the bottom with all these little arrows, and you can see the request headers and the response headers. And then the payload itself. And this will help you debug your curl. If you have any issues, just use the verbose flag. Daniel Stenberg is the author of curl, the original creator, and has been writing curl for many decades. Actually, I was looking at some of the GitHub commits here, and it turns out the first commit here, at least shown in version control, is December 26, 1999, which is even before Git version control software was made available, because that wasn't available for another 5 or 6 years beyond this point. So he probably was using Subversion or another version control software that migrated all that version history over into a Git scenario. We can see here that 18,288 commits. The large, and still very active today. Wow, that is amazing that there's just this much commits going on, this many code changes for curl. I can see why there's that many changes. Curls in games. That means like even Grand Theft Auto uses libcurl. What else uses libcurl? Baldersgate, Diablo 3, and a whole bunch of other games. That's crazy. Oh, Fortnite. Oh, Fortnite uses libcurl. Wait, no. The most popular games in the world use libcurl. In fact, we see here that Daniel Stenberg did a quick search on Steam and found that 22,734 Steam games use libcurl out of looks like 91,000 games. That's almost 25% of all games have libcurl. It's baked in directly into the code and is being used. Not too shabby for a hobby. That is pretty very nice.